Comedy Simp, the podcast you can't resist. Stephen Michael James, the host you won't wanna miss. From Seattle to the world, his humor will persist. Join the fun, get ready to enlist.
All right, man, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Comedy Simp Podcast. Stephen Michael James with Tony Cardoza.
Yeah.
Tony, where are people going to follow you at?
You can follow me at Cardoza Comedy on all social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everything like that.
And me, Stephen Michael James. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, dude, we're here. We're here at this bar. Tell me about this bar, first of all.
I really like this bar a lot. This is called Doyle's in Tacoma.
Doyle's in Tacoma, shout out.
Yeah,
we're right down the street from Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yeah. It's literally like if you just like stay straight from Market Street going back into like the outskirts of Tacoma, you'll run right into this place. They have really great food, really great beer. The staff is super helpful.
And so far, awesome. They haven't kicked us out yet.
Not yet. It's been like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we're just here talking.
Okay. You want to pause for a second?
Mm-hmm. Holy shit. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It is the Comedy Simp Podcast. Stephen Michael James.
Tony Cardoza.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And, dude, let's just talk about what happened recently.
Yeah.
Where were we? All right, so we've been hanging out the past, hour and a half or so. We went to a bar. We went to a local bar.
Yeah, Doyle's.
Doyle's Bar, right down the street from Tacoma Comedy Club. And we just started talking and chatting, and they're like, "You guys got to go. It's trivia night."
Yeah, they didn't like that we had lights. That was the issue.
Yeah.
You could be in there having a conversation, but you couldn't have a light or a camera. That was the issue. Yeah.
I long for the day that we have good quality cameras that don't require lighting, but needless to say, my fans demand a certain quality, and here we are in this echo chamber here at your apartment building in the mysterious neighborhood of Tacoma.
Yeah, you're just going to dox my address? That'd be fucking
No,
sweet.
we're not going to.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Well, actually, we could dox it because you're leaving.
Yeah.
You're leaving. Sad. It's very sad, but yeah, man, let's talk about it because first of all, thank you for taking the time. Being here with me at the
fan of the pod, fan of you,
Oh, dude, that means a lot. I've been wanting you to be on this for a while, like back when I had you on the Whiskey Mile. I was, but I understand there's like timing and, dude, we live so far.
Yeah, I can't believe you drove all the way out here,
Yeah,
man.
2 hours.
Yeah,
I told you. Took a little bit of mushrooms at 4 o'clock.
What a dog, though, dude. Crushed a 2-hour drive on mushrooms. I know that felt like 5 hours,
well,
dude.
It was just interesting. I listened to some of the Theo Vaughn podcast and listened to some 80s music. I thought, I'm on a journey right now, Tony.
Yeah.
It's it's been about a month since I did comedy last, and so. Obviously, I told people my dog died, and I just haven't really been happy with me and where I'm at, and I'm a man. I understand. Like, I need to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
I need to work harder to get where I want to get. You're a man. You're a real man, for sure. I'm not, no joke. Like, people like to joke. You know what's funny is, like, you and I, people like to joke that we're, like, gay or twinks, but we're kind of more manly than I think some of the guys that like to joke about it.
Most of them, yeah.
I know you don't, I don't want to, like, tell everybody what you do, but, obviously you're in the military and, you're a badass and you do all this stuff. And,
not a badass, no.
I used to fix garages, I've worked
like
in
a
warehouses for
guy,
20 years. Crispin, our friend Crispin, he's a manly man. He does that kind of work. But then a lot of these guys we work with they work at weed shops.
Yeah.
They work at
That's a pretty targeted one. Fuck you, Jeremiah.
We love that guy. We love him. I know, dude. We're gonna go all over the place. You got a podcast, the Mush Podcast.
Mush Podcast, yeah, Mush. Yeah.
What started? Because I love this podcast, man. I love you guys.
Thank you, man.
You guys
I appreciate
are
it.
you talk a lot about comedy. You talk about your lives. three dudes just
yapping,
chatting it up.
Just chatting, like a couple of
What started the
gals.
whole thing? Why'd you want to do it?
So how it started is that Crispin used to have this podcast. He might still, I don't know. I haven't heard him do it in a while.
It's like Two Minds.
Two Minds, yeah. He
yeah.
used to do Two Minds, and then one day he was like, "Hey, me and Jeremiah are gonna shoot this podcast. Would you mind being a guest?" Right? And we did a couple.
Mm-hmm.
We did a demo one, and then Jeremiah really liked me. So then we did a couple more demo ones, and then we were like, hey, this is the podcast. And we just started doing it. And I mean, at the time, like me and Jeremiah, we were friends, but we weren't as close as we are now.
Yeah.
You know, like me and Jeremiah are really close now. Me and Crispin are really close now.
Yeah.
You know? And it kind of just started from there. That was fucking a while ago, though. But yeah. But we finally just like materialized it, I think, this summer where we were like, hey, we're going to sit down and we're actually going to do the podcast. So pretty good. Yeah, I enjoy it.
You know, there's definitely, I mean, the reason I started mine is I was interested in comedy, especially in this area, and it feel like there wasn't a lot of representation. And so when you guys popped up, I was like, oh, dude, I'm all about it. You know, I started this Seattle comedy podcast Instagram page just to like, not to do anything. Like, I don't really expect anything from anything.
Well, you're just a fan of comedy
yeah,
first.
Exactly.
That's what I've always loved about you.
I just wanted to put it all in one place. Like, you know, I used to build websites when I was younger and stuff like that, and it's like
you're a versatile guy.
I'm a little lazy these days. So I was just like, Instagram, that, you know, get everybody together. And I like literally I keep finding more and more comedians that have podcasts, like our friend, I like to say friend, although he barely knows me, Casey McLean. He has a podcast.
With Jess Everett,
Yeah, Jess Everett. Dude, oh, we're going to talk about him, too. Because
they're fucking killers,
I wrote something down about Jess Everett, so we're going to reference him later.
Hell yeah, can't wait.
And then I also noticed there's a couple other people that have podcasts. There's this...
Lynette Manning and Robert Moore, they're doing the Comedy Grub.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Dude, Lynette, holy cow. We're going to... you know what? Before we get to know you,
Okay.
before we get to go to the beginning, I have something, I'm just going to ask you.
Okay.
This is called 20 names.
Okay.
I'm going to name 20 people, and I just want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
I'm a fan of comedy. So
I know.
These are all comedians.
I assume, yeah.
So,
I'm excited.
You guys ready? And you know what would be fun is when I do this podcast, I'll put their picture up on the screen. So
That'll be cute. Yeah. Just a little headshot
so,
right over there.
All right. Brandon White.
Brandon White. First thing that comes to mind is glasses, to be honest.
Glasses.
Brandon White is really funny. I really like Brandon.
Hard worker.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
hardest working guy. The guy's always just, I don't know. He has a job, but like literally he's just.
Yeah, he's a
every
dog,
night.
dude. And what I like about him is that I always see him doing new material. That's something that stands out to me, especially with comics, is when because if you're an open mic, right, like you shouldn't be doing show material. You should be working on getting show material and finding out what's funny. And I've never seen Brandon at an open mic do the same set, which I've always appreciated that about him.
Well, I look up to him a lot, and the fact is he's like me. Like he is a lover of comedy. He listens to podcasts. He has sets that are designed for different scenarios.
Yeah.
That's how advanced he is.
Yeah.
But we love Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon's
Flight
good, dude.
Path every Wednesday. Moving on, Mason A.
Mason A, veteran, I guess, is the first thing I think of. Mason is a funny guy.
Mason is the first time I saw Mason, I watched him roast some lady who eventually got water thrown on her in the audience.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm not going to say it. I was literally right behind her table.
Dude.
I'm not going to say the comic who did it, but I thought he was going to punch her in the face at first.
Dude, I said the same thing. Like, I have like talked about this scenario like 3 or 4 times on the podcast now.
Yeah.
And like that was my first experience to Tacoma.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is the first time I was like, okay, Tacoma I mean, I went to TCC, but the Sixth and Proctor had just opened.
Yeah.
And so it was maybe their first or second open mic. And I showed up. I wasn't even on the list. I had some friends, David Altamirano we were talking about. He was on that night. And that was when it happened. And like, there's a lot of people that were there. Mason. And the first thing, I was just like, my impression of Mason was like, I never want to get roasted by this guy.
Yeah, he's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Like he'll tell you how he feels about whatever, man. He's got no filter. Yeah, he's fucking.
But with
wild.
that said, man, like behind the bully persona, he's actually a really great guy. The show that they put on is really cool.
Yeah, Back with Bullies.
They put on.
Every Monday.
It's funny. The
Tacoma
next name I
Comedy
have
Club
is
downtown.
Macy Yo. And Macy, Mason, those guys, like, I didn't meet Macy until later. But, like, I feel like those guys, they're almost like the Cheech and Chong of Tacoma. You know, like, I feel like they need to be together.
Well,
you know?
so Macy's given me a lot of really good advice, especially when I was first starting out. Like Macy, he was the one because like there was a time period because like I go through like phases in comedy. Like you remember when we were talking about like I was sunglasses guy on stage, and then there was a period where I was sitting down all the time, and then Macy was like, "Don't sit down ever." He's like, you know, you're too good and you're too handsome to be sitting down. And I was like, well, I just get nervous and I keep it from my legs shaking.
Yeah.
And he's like, then walk around. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Don't do that. And ever since I started doing that, it's like, you know, just little tips like that. Like Macy's always kind of given me a lot of tips, and I really appreciate that about him. He's a good dude.
Those guys. What do you think about the show, the Bad Booth Bullies show? Back Booth Bullies.
I think it's a really good avenue for comedians to start getting stage time. Maybe dudes
Young
that
guys.
are they're like open micers that aren't getting booked on shit.
There's some people like Seth Fairchild.
Hilarious.
Young guy.
Oh
He's
my
not
God.
even 21.
Love him, dude.
Holy cow.
That dude is so fucking funny. Like I've been trying to like I've been shoving him into shows recently. I think I've like been like, hey, just so you know, I booked you on this show. Like you're gonna fucking go, and I'm gonna go with you and shit. And he's really good. Like I've seen him stretch out. He stretched out to 15 minutes, you know. And I'm really proud of him. He's gonna be really funny.
Like
He's 20.
19, 20. Can
Yeah,
you
he turns
imagine,
21 in August.
Can you imagine where he would be now if you started when you were 20?
Yeah, and the thing is that if he sticks with it, that dude's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Like he's incredible for being 20 years old.
And he's just got like a really nice personality.
He's a
like,
sweetheart.
Yeah. Next, Logan Cantrell.
Oh, dude.
Let's talk about Logan really quick.
Logan is
Holy cow.
so fucking funny.
This
bro.
guy is, I don't know what it is about this. Like I've said on the last podcast, like I shouldn't like him. Like he just seems like a guy I wouldn't
He's
like.
a fucking dick.
But he has this something about him that's just like, okay, I might be a dick, but I'm actually a cool guy. But underneath all of it,
No, he's legit.
and he's like a really just. He's a
Super down to
student
earth.
of the game, as they say. You know,
Yeah.
he's really like I've talked to him a lot on like Instagram and stuff about like stuff that's going on, and I remember there was this issue that like. Let's just talk about what I'm just going to talk about. Why not, man? Why not? So one time Logan was running the light at 6th and Proctor, and Jess Anderson was on stage, and then the lights went off. The power went off.
no shit.
Yeah, and it was like I don't know what happened. And then when Logan came on, he said something like, "Oh, sorry, the lights went out. I just did that because Jess was ugly." And then everyone was like, "Oh."
That's fucking
And
crazy.
then he said, "No, I would fuck Jess." Everybody laughed and all that, but for whatever reason, she took that as like very personal, and she went on her podcast with Sam Miller and was like, "This comic said like he wanted to fuck me," and like she was just very upset. And I sent him, and like this wasn't. I don't know why I did it, man. I just like I've seen this happen with another comic in Seattle, and I didn't want to. I feel like as a comedy simp, I see a lot of potential in Logan as a comedian, somebody who not only that, but he's
Hilarious.
Let's just be clear. He's above me as where he's at.
He's hilarious. He's really funny.
He's a better comic, and he's farther along in the path, the comedy journey. But I see, just as a fan, a potential in him. So I was like, hey, dude, this chick said something about you on the podcast. I'm not trying to talk shit, but maybe
You're just keeping him
should
alert,
say,
yeah.
Maybe talk to her, and then they patched it up. You know?
Yeah, that's
So-
awesome. And like Jess is a really good human being too.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Logan's gonna say what he thinks is funny, regardless
Yeah.
of like whether or not he thinks it's gonna hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Like that. That's the thing. That's what I appreciate about him. And he's opened for Louis J. Gomez a couple times.
Yeah, I was there. I went to
Yeah.
one of his shows, and
And I think honestly that Logan is going to end up like performing at Skankfest and stuff. I think he's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be really concrete
Yeah.
into like that like alternative style of comedy, and he's going to be really good.
I think
like,
in
Logan's
a lot,
fucking
like I
awesome.
see a lot of, I guess, similarity. I mean, I hate to compare myself to people, but like he used to do a podcast too with his buddies, and like he's invested in it as well.
Yeah.
I want to ask you though, man. I said this before. One of the times you were at Back Booth Bullies, he tased you right in the balls.
Yeah,
right
straight-
in the balls.
right in
and
my
I
nuts,
swear
yeah.
to God, I thought the look on your face, I thought you were going to kill him.
Nah.
Is that what you were feeling? What did you feel at that moment?
So Logan, he tased me in my ass first, like right
Yeah.
in the ass crack, and then he tased me in the balls, and then fucking. I was pissed, but like I was not gonna make a scene about
Yeah.
it, and then I ended up
professional people. He's a professional.
I ended up making a scene because Mason A called me a pussy, and then I got really mad, and I like caused a scene on stage for a minute, which I apologized to him later about that. But yeah, I mean the whole point was that it was like a roast battle between me, Xavier Brake, and fucking J Money, you know, and yeah, we were getting tased the whole time. I let some chick in the crowd, I let her come up and she tased my leg, and then I let Logan tase me in the ribs, and then I got called a pussy, and I like freaked out about it because I was like, dude, I've been tased 11 times and it's been like 5 minutes.
It hasn't, you know, and when I did it, I was kind of nervous, but then once they did it, I was like, it's not that bad. It's just, I was just like, in the balls, dude. That's just.
Yeah, that wasn't
Logan,
great.
That was just rough,
I
bro.
wasn't pumped. Me and Logan, we're buddies though. Like I'm pretty comfortable with him. Fucking helped him change his brakes.
I don't think
once
he
and
would have
shit.
done that if
we weren't boys. Yeah. So I mean, it's like, you know, like it's one of your boys fucking with you. It's
Yeah.
the point of the show. He's trying
Yeah.
to make the crowd laugh. Like
Yeah.
whatever. It didn't have any lasting effects. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, dude, he's I'm
good
glad.
dude.
I'm glad you weren't mad about that.
No,
but
I'm not mad at all.
Holy cow, man! That guy takes some risks. He
Yeah,
takes some
dude,
risks.
I mean-
I have more people on the list.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Shad Foster.
Dude, Shad is he's like the scary kind of autism, you know, because he's not like numbers or like science. He's like gun autism.
Yeah,
You know?
dude, I was late on the Shad train, as they say. You know, I was late, and like this guy, man, I can't. First, and then I see a lot of similarities too. Like he's way into the hardcore scene. Like he goes down to like Arizona, and he's just like mosh pitting and shoot. You know,
No,
and
Shad's a fucking
I sent him
dog.
a message. I was like, dude, do you work for the ATF? Because he had all this. He's like, absolutely the opposite.
Yeah,
of
he
that.
fucking hates the ATF.
You know, so
No, he's a good dude. I get
funny guy.
I
really
get drunk
funny
with
guy.
him fucking.
And I see
shit,
you
it's like at
guys
least
are
once a
very
week.
similar. I feel like you guys are similar too. Like you guys could, you guys could have a podcast together. You know?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if I didn't already have much podcasts.
It was like
with Jeremiah
military
Christopher.
and militia.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's like he's like one bad day away from just being a domestic terrorist. Like, but yeah, he's great, man. I love Shad.
Next name on the list is Bob F.
Bob F. So Bob
Holy
F.
yeah,
Dude.
this guy.
I have had a tumultuous journey with Bob F. Fucking for a while there. Like I really liked him at first, and then Bob F. kind of got on my nerves after a while, and now I'm back to Team Bob.
Okay.
He's gotten a lot better at comedy, which I really appreciate because like those of you who don't know Bob F., he is like severely autistic.
He is. Look, a lot. We were just talking about it, joking. People like to claim they're autistic a little bit. This guy really.
He's like patient zero.
He is.
Like,
yeah.
if autism was like a zombie apocalypse, he's like the guy that hides the bite mark and then fucks everybody. But no,
and there's something very
endearing.
Yeah, endearing about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like he feels he can get away with saying the N-word, basically.
He can and he has.
Yeah.
And, like, he's really fun, and like one time I was on James Fitz and Mason Van Cleef's podcast, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you know," and I'm like,
Genesis of Dragons, people.
Yeah.
I know everything.
Yeah, you know everybody's
Yeah.
podcast, but I was on theirs, and like we were setting up or whatever, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're just waiting on a third." And the door knocked, and I was like, oh, it's got to be like Logan, right?
Yeah.
And it was fucking Bob. And how the podcast worked is I got interviewed by Bob for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And shit was fucking crazy, dude. Bob is nuts.
I don't know what happened with that podcast. I never met Mason Van Cleef. Never seen him do comedy. I've just seen his name on the list. I've seen his podcast. But yeah, I mean, he seems like a cool dude. Like he's hanging
cool.
out with all the boys. You know, he's not on this list here, but
well, you know, honorary mention Mason Van Cleef. He's a good
Mason
dude.
Van Cleef, another Mason. I've never met
So
a
many
Mason.
Masons.
I've never met a Mason in my life. I come up here to Washington and there's two. Next name on the list, Jeremiah Hughes. Your buddy
Hughes.
from the Mush podcast.
Dog, dude.
This guy.
Dog. That's I'm not shitting on Brandon, but that is genuinely the hardest working comedian I've ever seen in my life.
I talked to him, and he was like, he just got out of surgery. Like, he just, was recovering, and he's like, man, I only get, 7 gigs a month. I was getting, 14. I feel like I'm doing nothing.
Yeah, dude, he's a hard-working motherfucker. Like, I went and visited him when he was in the hospital.
Dude, I watched the pod. With
He
you
almost
guys.
fucking
You and
died.
Crispin. Yeah, dude, that's and my wife back in 2023, she got sepsis.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the hospital for 8 days. So it's not the same, but it's similar. Like when I saw Jeremiah in there, I was like, dude, I understand what he's going through, man. It's like every day you're on the verge of to put myself in his shoes, I would be like, dude, am I ever going to do comedy again?
Dude, that was never a question in his fucking mind. That's the thing. Like he, when I was in the hospital with him, he literally was like, fuck, I have a show tomorrow. I'm going to try to make it. And I was like, dude, will you just recover? And he was so fucked up. He couldn't send an email. So, I sent an email being like, hey, I'm in the hospital right now. I can't do this show. And they were understanding, of course. But then he was hurting after his surgery for a while. He came over, we shot a podcast in my apartment. And then, he was limping around, really hurt. And then he had a roast battle that night over at Tacoma Comedy Club. And as soon as he got on stage, it was like he wasn't even in surgery at all. He was moving around like Jeremiah. And I'm just swear to God, he's the toughest fucking comedian, the hardest working comedian I've ever seen in my life. That dude is incredible. Yeah, I love Jeremiah. Shout out Jeremiah. It's absolute
And the thing
dog.
is,
shout out Messy Jesse's in Aberdeen. It's a show he runs.
Fucking. I have this idea of there's certain comics out there that they're doing great, that are successful, but I'm not necessarily a fan of their material. Jeremiah is the opposite. I love what he talks about, and it really gives me hope that maybe one day I could do my material
as clean as him.
And get the gigs and stuff like that, and build the fan base.
You definitely can.
He's got the T-shirt, or he's got the stickers, right? He's got these.
Eat butt.
Yeah, eat butt. Eat butt.
Yeah, he's fucking incredible.
But that guy, and I want to. I was like, when you guys started the podcast, I was like, dude, come on my podcast. So hopefully Jeremiah will get him on too, because
I'll get him on here.
I want to talk. He's opened up for so many people. What that guy from SNL? Daryl Hammond, the guy that does all the voices. And I know Jeremiah does a Trump voice, and so it's
Jeremiah's incredible.
I'm so interested in just even impressions, because I can't do them. So when people do Bruce Couture, we'll talk about him in a little.
Bruce does it,
people do that. But Jeremiah, we love you.
Yeah,
Next
incredible.
name on the list is Crispin Melchor.
So Crispin Melchor is probably the closest comedy friend I have. After him is Jeremiah. I mean, they're about the same level.
Yeah.
I love both of them.
When I
pretty
met
much
Crispin,
equally.
he was talking about you, and he's like, yeah, me and Tony, we kind of joke about being gay because we hang out again.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, that's funny.
It's funny.
But honest, as people, as men and older, it's really good to just have friends.
Yeah, have a good friend.
Like a friend when you're how old are you, man?
28.
20. Oh, holy cow! So I'm 39.
No
and
shit.
Then, so once you get into your 30s, it gets you start to be a little introspective. And
There's
think about
actually
things a
this
lot.
joke that Crispin's working on that I'm trying to help get him to do, but it's he has this joke about catfishing pedophiles because it's hard to make friends in your 30s. And
Yeah, dude, that's exactly.
It's really funny. But Crispin, man, he that guy, he was one of the first people that like, because I was going to open mics for a little bit, and it's an open mic, so they're open micers, right?
Yeah.
And it was like the first time where I saw somebody, I was like, oh fuck, like that's a comedian.
Yeah.
Like that's a comedian. Like I want to be like that, and I like talked to him after the show and shit, and ever since then, me and him have been extremely close. Yeah, he's been a really good mentor.
I've never
Same thing
not
with Jeremiah,
seen that
great
guy
mentor.
smile. He's literally like
He's a sweetheart.
He was born with a smile on his face.
Fucking psycho.
I want to know what happened with the blind date with the girl from the very first bully show. Did he ever go on the date with her?
No.
No.
So he has a girlfriend, and he's very very loyal. They have a really great relationship.
Oh man, we
But,
just
But
ruined
he's
the magic. We ruined.
Sorry to pull.
Sorry to pull the curtain
Yeah,
away.
just so you can see the. No,
Nobody saw the first episode. We were there. Were you
Yeah,
there? For the
I
first?
was there.
Dude.
I was on the show. I did a hot dog eating
I
contest.
can't even. It's like that first show was insane.
It was magic.
It's that show.
The first episode was magic.
In fact, I even reached out to the girl who was like the dancer, and she said like she would love to do a podcast with me. So I think at
do
some
it. That'd be
point I'm
awesome.
gonna go down to their place and talk to them because
That'd be awesome. Yeah, do
I
that.
wanna know more about them, like with their
The fire
Dude,
throwing.
the fire was insane.
I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to
Yeah.
re-drum up anything, but one of the guys got their balls lit on
Yeah,
fire. That was fucking
There
awesome.
was some titties that got pulled out that
Yeah.
night, and look, we're adults, okay? Adult things happen sometimes. It's comedy, all right?
Yeah.
That's why we do this. We do this for the craziness, the fun, the excitement.
Definitely an insane fucking show. That was awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of insane people, let's talk about J Money.
J Money.
J Money. Oh my God, that guy. I swear, I think when you came to feature was the first time he actually came to Whiskey Mile too. And yeah, dude, that guy is
wild.
he's a trip.
I joke because I go, I've seen a lot of punch drunk dudes. He's the first dude I've seen get punch autism.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because like you see like the videos of him first doing like the street beef shit, and like he was like a normal guy, and now he's just J Money.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And
The comedian.
Yeah,
that's his persona. Yeah.
I remember one time I was fucking hammered, and I was scrolling through Instagram. And it was J Money reacting to one of J Money's fights, and he was not speaking English the entire time.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't speaking any language. He was just making noises and just like doing this, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, dude, it like fucked me up. Like, it was crazy. J Money is wild. That's another guy I've heard say the N word on stage.
All I know is I hope that if any of our friends ever become famous, hire J Money as your security guy.
Yeah,
like,
he'll beat some
immediately.
fucking ass.
He
Dude.
would
He's not afraid.
Not only will he kick ass, he would be great hang, great entertainment. Although he didn't want to be tased. He was like,
No.
"Don't tase me." No, he's like, "I'll take a punch." But
What
yeah.
sucked because I wrote like 8 jokes about him, and then he ran off stage, and that was brutal because then I got tased a bunch.
Yeah. Well, we do what we do for comedy. Let's change it up. Let's bring a female into this.
Okay.
Allison Fine.
Allison. So Allison, she is great. She gave me a lot of opportunities really young on. She like hooked me up with a bunch of open mics and stuff, and she was one of my first mentors.
Yeah.
And she's really funny, and she like I had this joke where I said retarded during it, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, why did you use the word retarded? And I was like, oh, well, I thought it was funny. And she was like, well, like people don't want to hear that from you, and like that sounds shitty, but that's honest.
Yeah.
The way I look, the
Yeah.
person I am, they don't want to hear me say that.
Yeah.
So I've avoided that, and she has helped me with that, and that's inflated my comedy. Also, I'm on a show with her April 11th, fucking Manic Meatballs.
Manic Meatballs. April.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, it is tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. Well,
So I guess this pod will be out after.
This
but-
pod will come out Tuesday, so it already happened.
Yeah,
it was
I'm
a
sure
great
it was
show.
great, yeah.
Tony killed.
Yeah,
Like
hopefully.
literally, people just they
Standing ovation.
Yeah, it was insane. Allison is cool, man. It's
Yeah, because you did 3 magnets, right?
I did 3 Yeah, I've done that. I did the Spuds. with
Spuds
her.
was rough.
Yeah.
Spuds,
Yeah.
that's no fault to Allison
So-
at all. That was just a bad bar. But
I'll just say,
3
when
magnets was great.
When I first saw her, I was like, I'm not really a fan of her, But the fact is, she reminded me a lot of my sister.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sister who's like, like exclusively dates black guys and guys, a lot of guys that are usually in prison, stuff like that. My sister's big white girl, and so I don't get along with my sister. So of course, but Allison is also like, and I remember one time at Three Magnets, I had this joke, and we talked about Down syndrome joke. Mm-hmm. Everybody laughed. She didn't like it. She was not happy about it, and I felt bad, man. I really did feel bad because, I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I'm just here to do like.
Well, she has a she has an autistic kid.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. But like she's a sweetheart. She's just very confrontational, which is I think rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
I think that's a great quality that she stands up to people because she
doesn't give a fuck, dude.
For example, at Spuds, there was this dude. He was like there having an argument with like his ex, and there were the whole time all the comics were trying to do their sets. They're just talking, and then everybody's addressing it, stuff like that. And then I'm there with Nick Cody. Nick Cody, fucking 6'4", big dude.
Yeah, huge guy.
Whatever. So this dude, he's like talking to Allison, whatever, and he kind of grabs her side a little bit, and she's like, "Don't touch me." And then, me and Nick were like, "Hey, man, that's not cool." She didn't need us. Yeah. She did not need me.
No,
or
she'll
Nick.
beat the fuck out of somebody.
Like, I appreciate you guys standing up for me, but I'm cool. I got it. And I think, a lot of people it rubs them the wrong way. They don't
like the confrontation.
Exactly, but I think that's an awesome quality, and I think that I wouldn't ask her to change anything. I think that look, there's different types of people in this world, and we need people like Allison.
You need Allison.
And I don't want to just diminish her as a comedian, but she does a lot for the community. Like you said, the open mics with the this place and that place, and even now, like she's doing one in Bellevue.
Yeah,
Lucky Strike. I did that one. So she's always just giving back. But with that said, she's
a fucking dog.
She's doing an awesome. She's just killing it on stage. She does the stuff about like I'll sleep with your mom and your dad and this and that, and so.
Yeah, she's very funny.
Big shout out. This is like I don't know why this has become a love fest this episode, but why not? With my last episode with Rob, I don't know if you know Rob Conroy. He's a comedian from Seattle.
He sounds familiar. I probably have met him before.
He's been banned at the Shanghai Room.
I know him.
He's come to Seattle
I know Rob
a
Conroy.
couple times.
I met him at Nate Jackson's.
Yeah. But sometimes, he goes a little over the line, So this episode is more like this is him and Casey Judson, another comic. They do a podcast called Random Hacks. And they kind of like talk a lot of shit and joke and political or whatever. So this podcast, the one that we're doing, this is a love.
This is the love one, yeah.
So which is fine.
Well, one thing you'll notice about me is I don't really ever have a negative thing to say about people.
Yeah,
I just
that's what's that's kind of what's I've been having an issue or tough with me is a lot of comedy is complaining.
Yeah,
and it's just like I'm
You
I'm
gotta
at the
love
point
it
in my
first.
life where I'm trying to like be appreciative of what I have and all that kind of stuff. But with that said, I kind of like get into like the minute things, like what bothers me.
Yeah, I understand.
Moving on, man. Lynette Manning.
Oh,
Let's
my
talk about
God.
her because she's never been on this podcast. She's one of the people that I want on this podcast a lot because she is probably not even just female, just one of the funniest people I've ever seen.
Legitimately, like I'm gonna fucking.
Her YouTube videos make me laugh, which is very rare.
Yeah. I'm gonna fangirl out.
Yeah. Lynette Manning, let's talk about her.
Yeah. So Lynette is my friend, and she's definitely one of like the biggest mentors I have by a large margin.
Yeah.
And but I'm a fan of hers, like straight up. I think that because a lot of women they get a really hard rap in comedy that they're like, women say this, that, whatever, like you're funny for a female. Yeah. Like Lynette, I think is gonna be the comedian that's gonna go mainstream, and she's gonna kind of break that divide, male female. Like she's legitimately, I'm willing to bet in the next like 5 years, she's probably going to be like a household name.
Yeah,
like she's fucking incredible. Like
and she. I don't know her personally, but just everything that I've seen, she just seems like such a great person, nice person. Corey Bennett, I feel like, is a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
Corey
Corey's
loves
great.
her. Corey is a big, Jess Anderson, big fan, and so.
Yeah, Lynette's sensational.
And like she's part of the there's this new mic going on down in Tacoma. Was it the Edison on the mic?
Yeah, at the Edison.
I don't even know all the details, man. I just know that I think there's this thing called On the Mic, and some of it's in Seattle, some of it's in Tacoma. I don't know who produces it.
It's Kylie Ann.
Okay, Kylie Ann is featuring tonight at Whiskey Mile.
Oh, no shit.
So, yes,
Look
I
at
just
that.
Venmo'd her $20 for
Hell
her
yeah.
Whiskey Mile. I've never met her, but
She's a sweetheart, too.
seems like a nice person. I've never met her. But yeah, she in fact reached out to be on the podcast. So one of the things
she's great, man.
one of the things I'm gonna do, pretty soon is like they have a mic on Thursdays. Go in Seattle. I'm gonna check that out. And
Yeah, check it out, man.
whatever. But for sure, man. Lynette is.
Yeah,
She's a really
unstoppable.
She's a professional. She's killing it, and like I think she's just got a really unique perspective.
I featured for her. That was 2 Saturdays ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a point where like she had. I counted. It was 5 times during her set where people laughed like they like hard, like a huge pop, and then everybody clapped after. Right, 5 separate times, and I was like, I have never said anything that's ever elicited that response, and like she's just fucking incredible, dude.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, I swear to God, she is going to be famous.
Yeah. And Thor, you better take notes.
Yeah.
Changed gears here. Let's talk about James Fitz.
James Fitz.
This guy, I don't even know what to think about this guy, man. Every time I talk to him, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on.
I love him, dude.
I feel like I'm in another world when this guy's
he's just
around.
very like, hey,
Yeah.
like how's it going?
His demeanor, his persona is just it's the welcoming,
very
and
laissez-faire.
friendly. But like I don't understand him at all. Like I don't know what makes his brain work. Like that guy is just.
I don't know either, but I love it. Like one time, he was closing the 6th Ave mic, and he just wore like a triple XL hoodie, and he just did 8 minutes on how big his hoodie was, and he killed. And I was like,
That's
how
awesome,
the fuck
man.
did you do that? Like he's very funny. He's very laissez-faire. Like I don't want to say it's like lazy comedy or anything, because it's not. But he comes off very kind of like. Like he's just hanging out,
like, Mitch Hedberg a little bit.
Little
like,
bit,
he
yeah, I
has
can see
that
that.
kind of vibe. Like he just seems like ethereal. He
He
doesn't seem like a real person.
Like some
He's-
sort of apparition.
He's like a spirit that just comes in. Hey man, let's have a good time, and then he's out. It's
dude.
just like James Fitz, and then he's got like it said that when I did the podcast and I posted his podcast, he was like, "Why are you posting this?" I was like, I'm just sharing it, man." And then, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in their podcast. It's like a secret podcast, kind of.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. It's fucking crazy.
Willie Dean.
Willie Dean, dude. Willie Dean is probably like you never know what the fuck he's gonna say, dude. Like he is the most polarizing comedian in Tacoma, I think. Like, cause
Really?
dude,
that's interesting that you say that.
I think so,
Yeah.
because it's like the shit he talks about is so fucking crazy. But I think everything he says is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it's all funny as fuck. But he is like. He is so squarely on the line that he will immediately split a room. But
there's something about like him and Logan and James, all those 3 guys, and I don't know if there's enough. Well, there used to be Zach. Zach, who used to be
Zach
he was
Summerfield,
part of it.
he was
part
very
of it
funny.
Too. Zach Summerfield, shout out to you, buddy.
Zach Summerfield, shout out.
Out in where you at? Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Give us some spots if we come out there.
Give us some spots.
We'll give you some spots. Like
If you ever come
I'll
back
book
to
you at the
Washington.
Whiskey Mile if you ever come out.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, no, those guys. There's something about those guys. I mean, did they live? They live together or something like that? At
I
some
think
point,
so.
right?
Yeah, I know that it's like because Mason's also in that group, but Mason doesn't live with them, but he's like an unofficial roommate or something like that. But it's I don't know. Willie Dean is really fucking funny.
And he's a young guy too. He's pretty young, right?
Yeah, and
He's
for a
early
dude who's
20s.
so white, the shit that he's willing to talk about is fucking insane, dude.
Does he have a black girlfriend? Is that right? Or I thought
I don't know.
No,
I
he's
don't know
He's at
enough.
least dated black girls, but like
At least once, yeah.
He looks like somebody who should live where I live in Granite Falls, but no, he's very He's very like
he's with the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's very educated in everything.
He's fucking hilarious, dude.
Let's talk about our buddy Nick Cody.
Nick Cody is a sweetheart.
Nick
dude.
Cody was my first friend in comedy. Before I ever even did comedy, I like started adding all these comics on Facebook, and he was the first guy to be like message me back. And
he's a good dude.
And that guy is
especially for how fucking big he is. Like he's like one of those gentle, because like
He-
you look at him, you're like that dude
absolutely.
can fuck someone up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've never seen anybody cross Nick, but I wouldn't want to. Like,
yeah. Why the fuck would you, dude?
You know, there's a story he told me about this time where he was at the bus and these guys tried to fuck with him, and I was just like, dude,
idiots.
yeah, you could have killed them. Like,
Yeah,
and he knew it. He knew that he could have killed them.
He was
but-
also a Division I college athlete, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
he
Yeah, he
is-
was a football player.
Dude, I went to I should have. Yeah, I feel bad about this now, but I went down to Eugene, Oregon. You know, he went to college, the University of Oregon. We did a comedy show, and my brother lives down there, so I'm like hanging out with my brother and all that. He went to the spring kickoff game at the University of Oregon. He was like a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like literally, kids are getting his autograph. Like they're like, "You're the guy from the Ducks," and it's like.
Yeah.
It's insane that he doesn't even realize. Well, I think he kind of gets it, but
He's
like,
a humble guy. That's
but
the
he's
thing.
like, you know, what he gives, you know, it's. I just feel like, you know, like I talked about it on my last podcast. Like he's banned from. He was banned at Comedy Bar because of some beef, some internal issues, and it's like.
I can't imagine having beef with
Yeah,
Nick. That's fucking crazy.
It had to do with like him booking somebody or somebody else, and yeah, it was
It was
just
just a
really,
whole fucking
had
thing.
nothing to do with
whole
Nick.
shit stew.
Nick is such a good guy, and like
Yeah, I love
so
Nick, dude.
many comics did their first paid show because of Nick.
Yeah, he gives
know?
back, and I remember because you said that the first time you ever saw me was at fucking
Shanghai Room. Yeah, yeah.
and I believe Nick was hosting.
Yeah, he probably was. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick is fucking awesome, dude. That he gave me a lot of feedback and stuff, and ever since then. And also, I can't remember what his fucking joke is, but he has a bit about the WWE that is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he is. You know, I keep talking about like I want to do something with me, him, JoJo Blacko, maybe Mason A wrestling something.
That'd be
we
sick.
could do something about like a wrestling podcast or maybe just a show, something like that. I'm not really into it.
You guys
now,
should see if you
but
could-
when I was a kid, I loved that shit. When I
Well,
was
there's
a
a
kid,
big amateur wrestling circuit out here. Maybe you guys
Yeah.
could like talk to him about being like
I know.
fucking.
Well, you know, Tony Hinchcliffe is on
announcers.
WWE now.
Yeah.
apparently, which is insane.
Yeah, dude, wrestling's dope.
Nick, we love you. Let's talk about Bruce DeTore.
Bruce.
This guy, another hardworking guy. Holy cow, this guy. And I feel bad because he was on two of my podcasts, and he's going through the ringer of frustration.
Yeah.
Much like me, but I just feel like Bruce, you're much more talented than me. You're doing a lot more. You're out there just. You know,
He drives
don't feel bad, Bruce.
far,
Try
yeah.
not to feel bad, Bruce,
Well-
because you're out there, you're doing it, man. Like,
So Bruce, me and him and Joe Crudo and Brock Toronto have been on this this showcase, the Cozy Nostra, and you know Bruce, like that. I've told people for a while that like Bruce is one of the fastest improving comics that I have seen since I've started, because like that dude. Every time I see him, he's better, and he's very like he has so much material, you know, and it all comes off like even if it's a new joke, it comes off like it's an old joke.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that about him. He's a very very good writer, you know.
yeah, and he tries different things. Like he's doing impressions, and he's doing the was it Coaster No?
The Cozy Nostra.
Cozy Nostra.
Yeah, the Cozy
And he's
Nostra.
like at Whiskey Mile, he did this whole like kind of Italian thing.
Yeah.
Where I was like, dude, you should just do a Joe Pesci impression because that's almost Joe Pesci.
So
you know?
he's very proud about being Italian too. And one time we were doing the roast of Andy Harder. We were doing that. It was for Andy.
Yeah.
And fucking Crispin was talking to him, and he was like, "Oh, Bruce, you're Italian?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you're a wop." And like Bruce was like, "Oh," it was really funny. And
Yeah.
it was just funny because I was like, "That's crazy. I can't believe you said that to Bruce." Like,
I really feel like Bruce, if he had lived 50 years ago, he would definitely be one of the high mafia guys. You know,
you think so? You'd have been a Don.
Yeah, he would definitely be one of the guys that's giving orders. For
He'd have been
sure.
the Joe Gotti.
I just
Gotti or
imagine
whatever.
him with a cigar in his mouth, suit jacket on. I mean, He's the man, and
instead he's Super Bruce, the
if you're
comedian.
watching this, we love you, buddy.
Yeah, I love
and
Bruce, dude.
You are extremely talented, and don't feel bad about anything. You mentioned the other guys, Brock Toronto, Brock and Joe Crudo. I put those guys on there too.
Here, we'll start with Brock.
So Brock,
Sweetheart.
holy cow, dude!
Dude, Brock.
Talk about like talent in small packages. Holy cow!
Brock is fucking hilarious. So like, what I really like about him is that. So like there are a couple midget comedians, right? Like there's what's
I wouldn't have used that word, but it's all good.
So I'm just gonna let you know
Little
that
guys.
me and Brock are very close.
Yeah.
Me and Brock are very close. I've talked to him. He's given me the impasse. All right. So like,
Well, so I have a friend named Sam who's also a little person. Sam,
And he hates it?
He's not a comedian.
Okay.
He's not a comedian, but I was asking him, you ever heard of this comedian Brad Williams? And he's like, the midget? I was like, I wasn't going to say that, but if you're okay with that, then yeah.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, it's like, I don't know. You got to take it as it goes. Like Brock, I mean, he's
if you
cool.
have a sense of humor, then whatever.
If you're a little person, you're offended that I said that, I do apologize.
Yeah.
But because I'm talking about Brock and Brock likes the word midget, I'm going to use the word midget.
Yeah.
But like, so there's like, what's his name? Brad Williams, the famous one?
Yeah.
So the difference I see in Brock versus him is that like Brad, his thing is just kind of like, I'm short, haha, right? But
and he
then,
talks about like even I think one of Brad Williams' things is like I get confused for Wee Man all the time. I get hooked up with chicks because they think I'm Wee Man. You know, Brock
is he not Wee Man?
No, yeah,
like
I guess not.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, two different guys.
That's crazy. But no, Brock. What I like about Brock is his shit isn't like, oh, I'm short. He
Exactly.
he talks about what like the day-to-day life is.
It's
like what the difference
like I told
is.
you, you don't always talk about the military. Brandon White doesn't always talk about being a big guy. You know, like the fact is, like when you go beyond the surface level stuff is what I really appreciate. And like Brock, that guy, I mean, he filmed a comedy special.
Yeah, Brock
like that
is
guy is
incredible.
He should be as big as the other people, and I think it's just a matter of time. Like
I think he's already like getting there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten a lot of gigs just because of Brock. Like Brock has put me onto a lot of shit. His name, like people in Tacoma might not see it, but like Brock is like a fucking comedian. Like he's like an established comedian, has a lot of connections, and he's a really, really good dude. Like I get drunk with him several times. It's always a great time. He's fucking awesome.
Let me tell you, I was talking about, hey man, I kind of want to have you at Whiskey Mile like sometime. And he's like, I don't drive. I was like, well, I tell you what, maybe I'll find a comic that lives near you, and maybe you guys can come up together. And he's like, I'm good friends with Tony Cardoza. You know, so he literally said that. So
hey,
you know,
I mean,
he's a,
I fucking love him.
and I was like,
drive
I
him.
love Tony. So hell yeah, but now you're moving. So
Hey, I mean, if you're
so we're gonna have to come up with another way to get Brock up to Kirkland. So we'll figure it out. You know.
Brock is fucking awesome though.
So Brock, that guy is
so funny.
I wanted to get him on the podcast too because he was on
You should. He's
Narn
fucking hilarious.
Van and
Roastbusters.
He was on the Roastbusters and he talked a little bit about some of his touring days and like I'm super interested. Those guys didn't know anything about Steppenwolf and I'm like, dude, I'm like sitting there listening to the pod. I'm like, they don't know this song.
Wild?
They don't know this or that. And I'm just like,
He went on tour. Like Brock went on tour with fucking Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Dude. Like,
You
isn't
know?
that incredible?
like they were like Born to Be Wild. I'm like, you guys don't know Magic Carpet Ride. You guys don't know The Pusher.
You guys don't know any of
like,
this. Yeah, it's
you know,
fucking
so,
incredible.
Dude, that guy's awesome. And then Joe Crudo. Like, Joe, I said this to my friend Brian. Brian Fukuda, he's an Asian comedian.
I know Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
I'm very familiar with
said
Brian. I like Brian.
Joe Crudo is like, who is that actor that I'm trying to think of now?
Is he Jewish? Is it a Jewish actor?
It's
you're
an
thinking of?
Italian Jewish guy that Michael Rappaport. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's like the Michael Rappaport of Tacoma. And
Dude,
he's-
legitimately,
and
yeah.
then Brian was like, no, Joe's like not nearly as horrible as it's like he's like Joe's actually pretty cool. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not trying to say anything negative. I was just like the
that's the style.
yeah,
he
the
is,
style
like
and like
Michael
the New
Rappaport.
York, like he's from like New York or something, right? I don't
So,
know.
I don't
know anything about Joe. You've done shows with him.
Joe is what I like about Joe is that Joe is like a really good idea guy. Like the Cozy Nostra, his idea.
Yeah.
You know, the Mike Madness thing that was
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
2 weeks ago. That was his idea.
Thanks
He's
for
also,
inviting me, Joe.
He goes, hey, you know what? It's
You know,
not the
so-
Bark Entertainment.
So
loves
here's
it.
the thing: is I got an email for the Mike Madness, and I responded and I said I was interested interested, but then I never got anything back. So
Well, Bark Entertainment
yeah,
books it. But
shout out Bark.
yeah, shout out Bark. But no, Joe, like he's
Yeah.
also in the middle of writing a sitcom too.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really funny. It essentially, like, I don't want to like burn it right now, but
Yeah.
it's around like the Logan Cantrell, Willie Dean, fucking
Yeah.
Mason A,
Yeah.
Bob F. It's like that friend, that group. It's kind of like
Yeah.
about them, and I read the initial part of it. Me and him, we're going to write on it. I'm moving now, so I don't really
Yeah.
know what that's going to be about. But it's really funny. He's a very talented writer.
Yeah.
Like Joe is awesome. He's really good at ideas. He's a fucking incredible
And
dude.
he seems like is he a family guy too, right?
Yeah, he's got a wife.
Yeah.
Then his
yeah.
wife shows up to all the big shows and
Nice,
stuff.
yeah.
He's a good dude, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Joe.
Well, hopefully, I'm gonna get him on the podcast too, because he's a unique guy, unique style. And yeah, you guys had a really good show together.
yeah. It was a really good time. I was really pumped about it.
We got a few more. We got 3 names left.
Hey, no worries. I'm having a good time.
Jess Everett. Let's
Jet-
talk about this.
Holy shit.
This
that
guy, what a wizard,
Yeah.
wizard of comedy.
Yeah, guys.
It's like when the mustache covers the lip, you
Mm-hmm.
know that guy is full of just.
That dude is so fucking talented that, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it pisses me off, but it was like, I remember I was doing the roast mania that Naren puts on at
Yeah.
Tacoma Comic Club. I was doing that. I was against Crispin, and like I did like my 10-minute set or whatever, right? And then fucking holy shit, but like.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking, we were doing that. I like did my set or whatever, and then Jess goes on, and he just says hello
Yeah.
and murders. Like the whole room pops, and I was like, dude, how could you possibly do that? You know, like I've never been that
Yeah.
talented.
He just, I don't even, like, I don't know where he came from. I just know, I think he was, so I was on that, you were probably on it too, that in back October they had that Tacoma Comedy, what was it, that competition, there was that,
The voice.
The Voice, the comedy voice. I don't know what's going on
Hey,
here.
ma'am, can you keep it down a little bit, ma'am?
I don't think she knows what's going on. It's all good. Comedy Voice.
Yeah.
So he was one of the judges, and apparently he won previously.
Yeah, he was a judge at the voice contest. I know he won previously. He's super fucking funny. I've always wanted to feature for him. Maybe someday in the future I'll be able to feature
Yeah.
for him. That'd be awesome. But that's like legitimately. He's like, you know how you were saying that you look up to people.
Yeah.
Like I look up to him. I don't know him well enough to call him a mentor or anything, but I do look up to Jess, and I do think he's a insanely talented comedian.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys. He's a character. You know, like I don't know anything behind the person that I see on stage, you know, which is very, you know, I don't know. I just know him as just his material, and that's it. You know,
Yeah.
whereas like other guys like you and, you know, Brandon.
You have more
and
of a
all that-
relationship.
Yeah, I kind of get a sense of who they are, but like him, I'm like, I don't know what you do for a living. I don't know if you have a wife. I don't know if
He's
you're
got a wife.
gay. I don't know. Like
He just got married recently.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy is fucking funny.
and he's
saw
super creative.
He
like,
posted a clip the other day that I swear to God, it's like one of the only times where I like belly laughed, and then I showed people because I was like, this is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And it was him
I
talking about.
love doing that. I love when I find a comic that's local.
Yeah.
And I see something. I like when I like it so much. I'm like, you guys. I show people like certain clips, you know. And so
Yeah.
like, you did that. So with Jess.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm fucking getting distracted by this shit over here. But
It'll end soon. She'll end soon. You know,
probably
so-
not. I mean,
Yeah.
she seems like she's on
Yeah.
drugs, but fucking. So this, so like Jess, he had this fucking thing, and it was about him smoking crack for a summer. You know, and people were like, sounds like a waste of his summer. He's like, I didn't sleep or whatever, and he's like, I got more summer than most people. It just made me laugh so fucking hard. I butchered it right there, but dude, he's so fucking funny.
Yeah, and it's like for me, like I could either believe it or I could also believe that like he totally made it up. Like I don't know anything, but yeah, dude, guy's killing it. And I think he's doing the podcast with Casey now. Him and Casey McLean have a.
I'm gonna be confrontational.
we're
I'll be right back.
We're good. We're
I'll
good.
Just be confrontational.
I got
for a
2
second.
more people on our list. 2 more people.
Okay, but I don't want the podcast to fucking end
No,
because some crackheads in here.
we're good. We're good. Andy Harder. We
Oh
talked
my
about
God,
Andy.
dude.
This guy should. Andy gets in his own way. I'll be honest, because he's really, really funny, but I also like he just doesn't give any. He doesn't give a shit about anything. Yeah,
nothing.
He's just like he doesn't want to play any games.
Nope.
He doesn't want to. He's not going to go up to club comedy for 3 minutes.
Very low propensity for bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's invited me to his place a couple times.
You should go. It's a fucking blast, dude.
You know, I think part of it is like, especially when I come down to Tacoma, is
Dude,
sometimes I feel like people don't know me, which is so weird. You probably don't feel it. Maybe if you come to Seattle, you might feel like that, but like sometimes I'll go into Tacoma Comedy Club and then I wait for people to like give me the signal for like a hug or a high five or whatever.
You're just trying to figure out like how to react to it.
Like, I know that they know me, but, like, are we cool? Are we friendly? And all that. And it's like, yeah.
Well, so what?
And Andy's, like, one of those guys. He's like, I'm not going to play that game at all. He's like, I'm going to go to my 907 every Monday.
Yeah.
You know, I might go to the Whiskey Mile, might go to Tacoma. But he's just.
Andy, what I really like about Andy is that he is legitimately. So I know I've been like talking people up, but I've been saying this since I don't know if you ever came to the room I used to run out in Auburn.
Yeah, I went there one time. Me and JoJo drove together. It was awesome, dude.
So
yeah,
that was the first time I had ever seen Andy Harder was there, and I've introduced him anytime I've ever hosted for him that this is my favorite comedian. Like legit, I mean that. Like that is he is fucking hilarious. Everything he says is funny and like fucking holy shit, dude. Like
and the fact I don't know how
I'm sorry, I'm getting
how
fucked up here.
How can anybody make a living walking dogs?
Yeah, he makes a living, dude. I love it too because he has this fucking joke where he's like, I feel bad burning his material, but where he's like, my parents owned a boat, you know, and he's like, I walk fucking dogs, like, dude, he's so fucking funny and. All of my recent success, I fucking just headlined Tacoma Comedy Club, and that is a direct result of Andy. Andy had me be his feature, and I owe that dude so much, and I love him like from the bottom of my heart. Like I hope that guy gets the fucking recognition he deserves.
Yeah,
because he is one of the funniest headliners out here.
He's one of those guys. They're just comics that are just like they're just comics. They don't know anything about the online stuff. They don't know anything about.
He's a real comic.
People,
yeah.
They don't know how about being, the political, navigating, the different cliques.
No, he has his opinions.
He's just like, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. But
yeah, he's fucking amazing.
He's inspiring. The dude, like, he's got, and also I get all of my my credit. I get all of my my credit inspiration from him because he has a whole thing about creditors calling him, and I'm not gonna burn it, but
dude, it's so fucking funny, dude.
Last guy on the list, and then we'll talk about.
Sorry. If you ever get the chance to see Andy Harder, you have to see Andy Harder. Fucking hilarious.
He just headlined, I think, the Bo Blast Ha Ha Tuesdays.
Yeah, he did that
was you,
2 months
right?
ago. I was featuring for him. But
shout out Bo Blast too for
you
putting
ever see
on
that
guys.
dude on a poster? You gotta go. That dude's fucking hilarious.
Putting on guys. Yeah, for sure. So. Last guy on the list.
Ma'am, legitimately, can you go anywhere else, please?
It's good.
I pay just as much money as you do.
We're good. We're almost done here. So.
I pay just as much money.
So, last.
I'm down. We can talk to the Lex.
Okay. Last guy I want to talk about. One of my favorite comics. I only found out about him in October. Brendan Meeks. Brendan Meeks. This freaking guy, man. This guy is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, the joke writing, the delivery, the persona.
Yeah.
Everything about this guy, I was like,
shout out Comedy Simp Podcast. She's recording us.
Yeah. I said, I need to stop everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And rewrite my material because this fucking guy is.
He's on fire.
He's killing it.
He just they just started this showcase out in Lacey called the Stone Goose Production.
Goose Juice.
So good, dude.
Juice Box?
No. It's at the Beat Drop in Lacey.
Beat Drop. Beat Drop.
It's legitimately the greatest stage I've ever done comedy on. They have this guy named Kyle Mixon. He does all of the does all of like the animations to the comedians and stuff. It's fucking sensational, dude. Like the amount of work that they put in him, Joseph Humphreys, Brendan Meeks, and like. Dude, Brandon Meeks is so funny because like he's such an unassuming guy, but he says such crazy shit.
And I was like, dude, you're a dad also. You got a kid. And like I was like, what does your wife think about this? And he's like, she's not a big fan of it. And I was like, dude, I identify with that so much. And the fact that like I see him out there and I could just imagine the struggle that he has like with his wife, like, all right, I'm going out. I'm going to go do comedy. I'm trying to do something with comedy. And she's like, I want you to be home, be with our kid. You know, I want you to be with me. At least that's my experience with my wife. So, like, but, yeah, dude, the guy's killing it, man. The guy is, like, he's an inspiration. And nice guy, too. Really nice guy. And, like, he's on the back booth bully stuff, and he's, like, participating. He's a good sport. I guess him and Xavier Rake and Lonnie.
Yeah, Lonnie is fucking.
Those three guys are.
Lonnie is wild, dude.
Those guys are the epitome of good sport.
Yeah.
You know, they'll do anything for a laugh. They'll do anything for a joke. You know, they'll do
they're
the stunts,
fucking awesome.
The
dude.
hot food. You know, it's just insane.
I love Xavier too, because like Xavier, me and him, we've been producing shows here and there for a while, and like that dude is fucking awesome. He's another really close friend of mine. Lonnie is super funny too. Yeah. He's like a kind of like a Tyler the Creator type, kind of like you know
he's very artistic, man.
Yeah,
one time he did the back booth bullies and he had like all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah, he was dressed up like fucking like Bruce Lee from fucking Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
He's fucking
except not with the physique at all.
Yeah, not the physique is crazy.
And Lonnie used to piss me off because I have a problem. Not anymore, but when I started, I used to get really mad at people who went on stage and didn't have any material. They were just like, I'm just gonna waste time, you know. And in fact, he was like, I'm just gonna do my time. I don't have anything. And it's like, but he's grown on me. He's been a really cool guy to me and really nice dude. And like the fact is, he's been put through the ringer with all these stunts, and he still shows up, and he still. Him and Seth, he's
getting funnier every time.
Yeah.
Like recently, I did a show with him, and I was like giving him some shit. Right? I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? And then I found out that it was like his first time doing like 10 minutes, and I was like, oh shit, my bad. Like that was totally fine. And he was like, don't put the fucking bumpers up, dude. Like talk to me, you know? And I'm like, oh shit. But like Lonnie, like I think Lonnie is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But going back to Brendan, because I did not give Brendan enough flowers. That dude, like legit. Every time I see him, I'm like, I have like he's really big competition for me.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I have to show ass to make sure that I am keeping up. You know.
I mean, literally when I
Gavin Howells too. I mean, that guy was on the list, but that dude's fucking incredible.
But literally, when I first saw Brendan, I was like, dude, I gotta rethink everything that I'm doing. But you know, he also gave me some compliments on some of my jokes, so I'm like, dude, I appreciate it. We're all good. So
yeah, dude, he's incredible.
How long have we been recording?
I don't know.
Let's see. This has been an interesting night so far.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a regular podcast until about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, dude, it's already been an hour.
Oh, right. I mean, you want to keep going? I don't care.
Yeah, let's go. So yeah, we talked a little bit. You're leaving.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
leaving because of work, but also because of comedy.
Yeah.
So you feel like you've kind of done everything. You kind of not necessarily reached the peak, but like
you've
to reaching
the
done a
peak.
lot. You've done a lot here.
Yeah.
You know, you've been in a lot of rooms. Mm-hmm. You've been on big shows. You've been on little shows, bars, comedy clubs. But the Pacific Northwest is vast, and there's really only so much you can do.
Yeah, and I mean,
you talked about Austin. You talked about L.A. Tell the people, where are you going?
So I'm going to be going to Los Angeles, and that is not any sort of a shot of Tacoma at all. I mean, this is an incredible, like, in the Pacific Northwest, the places I performed, this is
I always tell TCC is the best place for comedy up here.
Yeah,
you know?
Without a doubt. I mean, it's a great city.
There's other clubs, but that is, if my goal is that's what I want to do, is I want to perform there. I mean, that's everything. You know?
So, like, after a year of performing here, I went out to Little Rock, Arkansas, right? Mm-hmm. And when I went there, they were like blown away, right, by like me, and I was like, that's crazy, because where I do comedy, I'm fucking nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't even get laughs out here. But then when I went to Little Rock, they were like, what the fuck? Like if you're good here, you are good everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and so like no shot on Tacoma. That's not why I'm leaving. Is that this isn't a good place to be. It's just that I talked to some local headliners, people that are doing this full time. You know, people that are out here. You know, some people that are getting a lot of traction, and they were like, the trick is you have to leave and then come back.
Yeah.
And I do want to come back. Like this
Yeah,
is where
yeah.
I ultimately want to be.
Yeah, I've talked to some people that talked about wanting to move to Austin and stuff like that. I mean, for me,
I don't know if I said I'm going to Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I don't know if I said
no,
that.
No, and I'm not saying that, but there's other comics who've talked about wanting to go to Austin.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, you're the first person that I know who's actually wanted to go to California.
Yeah.
Everybody I know, I'm from California, they're leaving. You know?
Yeah.
Again, I love LA. Like LA, I tried to move to LA in 2013. You know, like it just didn't work out for me as far as the job and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's I love Venice Beach. I love Santa
can't wait.
Monica. I love,
San Diego, everything just down there. Is
I love
beautiful.
Mulholland Drive, driving on, all the hills and stuff like that. And, it's, and then I haven't even stepped foot in the comedy scene in LA. You have the Comedy Store, the Improv, the Ice House, the the Third Wheel,
the Laugh Factory,
yeah, the
Flappers.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so, and then you go to the San Fernando Valley, and there's just millions of little rooms there. So, it's gonna be exciting, man.
I'm excited.
You could potentially do comedy every night if you want.
That is what I'm going to do. When I first get down there, I was listening to Ralphie May's masterclass.
I've listened to it too.
Yeah, and he was like, if you come to LA, like your first 90 days, you should be hitting 3 to 4 mics a night.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to live true to that. Hit 3 to 4 mics every single night for 90 days. That's my goal. And then obviously, like I'm going to try to get past at Flappers, and I'm going to try to get past at the Comedy Store, and the Laugh Factory, which is every comedian's goal. So I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to do this, but like that is the goal.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited for the move. And Brock put me in touch with a really good producer down there.
Nice.
So hopefully I can get on some good shit down there. So.
Well, it's exciting for you. What I was going to say is I'm not going to be moving because I own a house here.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
too much.
I lived in California most of my life, but I like the idea of having friends in different places because we can kind of establish ourselves like a little network. Like you in LA. I know a guy now who's in San Diego who works at American Comedy or whatever that American Comedy Club there.
Yeah.
There's a guy up in Canada, Abbotsford. He co-owns a comedy club there, So it's like, and then I'm from Sacramento.
Yeah.
So like, I know a couple comics there, talk to them a little bit. And once I go down there.
You got the network.
So
you
what
can
I'm
go
trying
tour.
to do is establish something, where we can, we could do something,
Well,
where
yeah,
we
dude,
could
come visit in LA. You can come
It's kind of
crash
the
on my
idea
couch.
that I had when I was in a band is like I wanted people I wanted to know a band up in Seattle so we can go do shows in Seattle. It's the band stuff is gone now, but it's the same idea. Like we could literally continue to do that. It's like,
and that's
my brother lives in Eugene, Oregon. They have a comedy club in Eugene. Like we can.
You have the resources to where you can start doing it.
Nick Cody, Eugene, Oregon. He's got friends there. He's got connections. So
Yeah,
and then I'm sure there's a ton of people, Portland and all that. So
yeah, it's gonna be like a really good thing. And like, dude, come visit me in LA.
yeah,
like,
and I think
I'll put you up,
you'll
man.
definitely come up here.
Yeah, I'm not
sure.
done up here. Like
one example, there's this guy Luke Severide. Guy's always coming back here.
Yeah,
and he was, and just like you said, you have to leave
and then come back.
Yeah,
and that's the goal is that because how Nate Jackson is like the guy out here.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Joe Coy.
We didn't even talk about Nate.
Yeah, but like you have like Joe Coy and like fucking Gabe Rutledge and fucking I forget his name, Adam Ray. Like they're huge, but they're not out here all the time.
Yeah.
But like Nate Jackson is here all the time, and I'm like, I want to be on like Nate Jackson's level. But in order to do that, I have to become a national headliner and then come here. So someday.
Well,
maybe.
Nate has more room for white friends, on the table. Like Matt Rife is looking pretty empty at that table.
Yeah.
Tony looks pretty good, I think, sitting next to Matt Rife at the Nate Jackson table.
Yeah,
what do you
Nate
think, guys?
hey,
what
Nate,
do you think?
yeah, dude.
Shout out Nate. Shout out Trenton also, who produces that podcast. I haven't listened to it yet, but they just did one with Ralph Barboza that's supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be like a lot of good information.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of great comedy out here, man. A lot of great comedians too.
Dude, we didn't even really talk about when you started comedy and all that. Do you? I guess you kind of hinted a little bit at your goals and stuff like that, but. What do you think it's done for you as far as your life? Like,
I've been in 2 different branches of the military, right?
Yeah.
The Air Force and the Army, and I've been very good at both of them, right? But I was never, I never felt like I was in the right place, you know, until I got on a stage with the mic, you know, and that was the first time in my life that I was like, oh fuck, like this is what I want to do forever, you know, like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, right? And ever since then, it's like my quality of life is going up. I'm happier. Like I'm pursuing my dream, you know. And I think comedy is something that if there's ever any even sliver of a part of you that is like, I want to be a comedian, you should try it because it is without a doubt the best thing that I've ever done.
I agree, man. Like prior to me doing it, like, you know, I told you I used to be in a band. I was not in a band when I met my wife. You know, I was a couple years, band broke up. I was just doing my own. I was always like thinking about wanting to do something, but just never just came to fruition. And I just always just felt like I was missing out on something, or I just didn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. Yeah. And then as minuscule as this open mic comedy thing is, because that's what I call it, because I've been mostly open mics, you know, a couple paid shows.
Well, you just got to get a good tape.
But
that's it.
It's like, man, I feel fulfilled in so many ways. Like
you have an electronic breast kit yet?
I don't know. Probably not.
I can make one for you.
Probably not. But like I said, it's the friendships.
Oh yeah, the community is amazing.
Not only that, it's the brotherhood is a little bit, you know, like I live with women. I grew up with women, so not really around guys that often other than work. Yeah. I don't know what you would call it, but just the constant challenging yourself of like putting yourself out there in a public way and subjecting yourself to possible embarrassment, possible public embarrassment, like all those things, like doing those things is like, I feel like it's made me a better person and made me a happier person. You know,
well, it's also because like everybody thinks they're funny, right? But a crowd's gonna let you know if you're fucking funny. Yeah. Like if like everybody's like, oh, I'm the funny one of our group or whatever, right? But it's like until you're in front of a crowd, you know, you don't actually know because they're just your friends. They're gonna like you regardless. It's a whole other skill to get a group of strangers to like you enough to hear you out. Especially like you say crazy shit. So I mean, like, you know that every time you get a laugh, it is like that is fucking funny. Yeah. Or they don't know you and you're saying something.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Or it's when you see somebody that you don't think might like your material, and then they actually are laughing at it. You're like, oh, wow. I didn't think you would actually like this, you know?
It's a little confidence boost.
And I think even more, like, when other comics give you compliments, it's like, oh, dude, that's crazy. I didn't even, you know, because it's like, at the end of the day, we're all just, like, we're all trying to do something. We're all trying to, like,
we're all trying to
live
our dream.
We're being creative, and we're, like, putting stuff out there. And I think that's what a lot of the negativity online and stuff like that. People don't have a thing that they are passionate about, that they love doing, that they like to put their energy in. They hate their jobs and stuff like that. And it's like, I just feel lucky that we have found this, you know.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that's going on here, you know. And comedy itself, like, you know, it's like you said, it's a good brotherhood, and it's a good barometer of like figuring out what you want to do with your life. And I mean, when you do really well on stage, there's no better feeling in the world. Yeah. You know, like you're walking on air for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I still think about like the biggest audience that I had was the New Year's thing in Tacoma. It was almost a full room, and it was like, I still think about it. I was like, dude, that was just,
it's awesome.
It's insane. It's insane to like, when you go from like the Shanghai room, which is like just comics, to like a room of people that are like ready to laugh.
And they paid money and they're ready to go.
It's just, it doesn't get any better. Like I see the people in the arenas and all, like, who cares? Just like give me a club full of people and I'll be satisfied. Like that's just like that's the goal for me. Dude, what's gonna happen with the podcast? The Mush podcast.
We're trying to figure it out. So the tentative plan right now is that I'm gonna try to come back up here every couple months, and when I come up here, it'll be for like a weekend. and then we're gonna bank like 4 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if that's gonna be like, hey, we release like 4 episodes, and then you know that'll cover like 4 weeks that should lead into the next month. You know, but there's gonna be like a lull, so I don't know if we're gonna go to like a monthly thing. We haven't really figured it out.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try to keep Mush alive, and we're gonna try to get some Mush showcases going. Because Jeremiah, his plan is to go to LA.
Yeah.
And Crispin's plan is to go to Texas. So we're gonna try to get.
I'll be here for you guys. So whenever you come back, we'll get something set up.
Hey, we'd love to.
And
man.
again, man, if you guys want any help or anything like that, just let me know. I'm happy to help you. I mean, like Comedy Simp, man. I'm here to
absolutely. Dude.
Here, you know, like I always feel like we're better, you know, together.
Yeah.
You know, like my friend Rob, I was talking about like he's like, dude, you're still in that band mentality. You want everybody to be there with you. I was like, yeah, man, it's lonely.
Yeah.
It's lonely at the top. So I want to be there with my friends, you know, and have some good times.
Yeah, well, the thing is you got to bring people with you, and it's like you got to make sure, one, you stay humble. That's the biggest thing, because nobody likes a fucking asshole. You know, like I was telling you off mic about how there's like, you know, a dude that like people, like a guy that has like big dogged me recently. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we've been friends for like a year. Like, why are you suddenly
That's kind of a bummer.
You know?
I hopefully I don't find out who that is. But
hey, you're not. I don't talk ill of comics.
Yeah, no.
Like Casey McLean, I did a show with him, and he was like, talk shit about a comic, pussy. And I was like, no, dude. Like, I can. Yeah. That's another guy we didn't talk about. Casey's fucking hilarious,
the only people I talk about are the people that are doing better than me. The people that I look up
I don't
to.
like them.
Adam Tiller. I always talk about him every podcast. I'm a big fan of Adam. Jay Marks, I don't know if you know Jay, but Jay, fucking that guy.
He's the dude with the Tracy Morgan impression.
What?
Right? Isn't that Jay Marks? Or no, I'm thinking of Jay Moore. I'm thinking of Jay Moore.
Jay Moore, yeah.
I was thinking of Jay Moore.
Jay Marks is a Jewish guy from Seattle. He's got long hair. Sometimes he's closes at Tacoma and stuff like that.
I might have seen him.
Really funny. Yeah, dude, that fucking guy kills.
That guy fucking kills.
Yeah. Who else is doing better than us, Tony?
Most comedians, probably. So we've already talked about all the big ones.
Yeah.
Fucking Gabe Rutledge.
Gabriel is, I just found this out recently. My wife's mom is cousins with his mom.
Dude, you should fucking hit him up for a barbecue or something, dude.
So, yeah, she went to this family reunion on Orcas Island, and they were talking about comedians, and then she's like, oh yeah, my son-in-law's a comic, and like, oh yeah, my son is a comedian, and it's like, oh, he's just like one of the most successful comedians in Washington. Like, he's got like millions of views on his special.
Yeah, he's huge.
That guy's awesome. I've never met him personally, but like, yeah, his demeanor, and everybody says that he's just he's the man.
The second time I ever did comedy, fucking Gabe Rutledge dropped into the open mic, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know shit about anything, you know, like I'm brand new, you know, I'm wearing sunglasses on stage because I can't stand looking at the comedians or the audience, right? And Gabe goes up and fucking murders, right? So after the show, I go up to him like, hey, man, you're really funny. Like, do you have any tips about my set, like all this other shit? And he's talking to me like a regular person, you know? And then after I get done talking with him, like 4 other people were like, did you just fucking like go talk to Gabe Rutledge? And I was like, who's Gabe Rutledge? And then now as a comic, I'm like, holy fuck, dude, I just walked up to Gabe Rutledge like it was nothing.
It's funny the stuff we do and we don't know. You know?
Yeah.
I used to message all these people all the time. There's this guy, Mike Mazzalotti, who's a comic who used to be in Seattle. I'd be like, hey, dude, I bought your book. You know, I read your book. You know, all that. And Narin Van. I mean, Narin is a good guy, too. I didn't put him on the list. He's not even in the country right now. But
yeah, Narin's awesome. Yeah, he did a fucking tour in Asia. Yeah, dude's fucking
Put me on a Roastamania show, man. Come on.
Dude, Roastamania is so fun.
But, yeah, dude, we've been talking for a while. I guess we'll wrap this up in a couple minutes. Plans for the future. People want to see you down in LA. You're gonna be hitting all the mics. I'm
gonna be everywhere there is a microphone. I will be there.
Yeah. And then if they want to keep up with you on Instagram, it's Tony Cardoza Comedy.
It's Cardoza Comedy on
Cardoza
Instagram,
Comedy.
TikTok, fucking YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah,
like,
Cardoza
you can find me
Comedy.
on all that.
And yeah, man, I'm excited for you. And honestly, I'm excited for this little party, this little going away party.
Yeah, on
that's
the
coming
18th,
up.
it's gonna be fucking.
You know,
it's gonna be lit,
gonna
dude.
bring. I don't know if we'll do a podcast there, but I'm gonna have my stuff just in case.
Hey man, we can always shoot a pod. I don't care.
Tony Peters, shout out to him.
Yeah,
he's
shout out
gonna
Backyard Bar Grill.
He's putting this whole thing together. Yeah, I gotta do a pod with him too, because he's another guy that I don't know anything about him, but he is just like.
He's another very hardworking comedian.
Yeah, and he's a mysterious guy.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. He's
I
funny.
saw him up at Club Comedy in Seattle. It's like the first time I went there, I was like, "Hey man, how's this room?" He's like, "It's the best. It's one of the best rooms in the Northwest." And then he goes up there and he's like, had nothing prepared whatsoever. You know,
That sounds like Tony,
yeah.
dude. Tony rocks. I like Tony.
But yeah, man. Again, this has been interesting. I don't know. This has been an interesting
This has been
podcast. It
wild.
started off at one place and we ended up at another.
Yeah, and then fucking we had a
well,
crackhead at one point.
Washington is gonna miss you, but dude, you've made a mark, and I still remember, like I said, first time I saw you wearing sunglasses at the Shanghai Room, and I had never said I don't even think I ever said anything about another comic up until then, but I had to say something about this guy, you know, because I was jealous because I wanted to wear sunglasses on stage, and I knew that it wasn't. It was like this, you know, you hear these rules when you first start, like no shorts on stage.
Yeah.
Nick Cody broke that rule right away.
Immediately, yeah. I've
know?
had a couple comics that break the fuck out of that rule.
Yeah. Plus, it gets fucking hot, you know.
Yeah.
Fucking climate change, people.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, fucking. But too bad we're burning all the Teslas.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah. We should. Yeah. This is we could do a whole nother podcast about Teslas. Also, shout out to Tesla, the band from
Yeah.
Sacramento.
The
you
band.
Guys,
You have to be
the
like
band
the
rules.
band.
You know, they have a song called "Love Song." Love will find a way. Yeah. Shout out. Everybody forgets about Tesla, man. They're Skid Row, Motley Crue. Tesla was right there. They were doing
Really?
it. Yeah.
They're just up there in
Yeah.
that hair metal.
They
huh?
just they were like not as well known, but
Okay.
but when you go down to Sacramento, they're like the most popular band from, you know, other
That's
than
badass.
Papa Roach's Vacaville, you know, all that kind of stuff. And shout out P Roach.
Yeah, shout
Dude,
out
we
P.
could
Roach.
talk forever, dude. I look forward to seeing you grow, and when I come down to LA, we're gonna do this again.
Yeah, we'll do another Comedy Simp podcast.
And I love the podcast, and other than that, man, follow Tony and follow me. And
Absolutely, yeah. Like and subscribe.
This has
Comedy
been
Simp
awesome.
Podcast. Yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks for
Cool.
having me.
All right.
Rising
All right,
up in
cool.
the comedy scene, he's a force to be reckoned. Comedy Simp, the podcast you can't resist. Stephen Michael James, the host you won't wanna miss. From Seattle to the world, his humor will persist. Join the fun, get ready to enlist. Spitting fire